Yo, what's up, YouTube Nation? This is Alex, and we are on the Alexander Fitness Channel, better known as the Alexander Fitness Channel. Today, I'm gonna do a special video for my new subscribers. Well, ain't no one subscribed, obviously, but for the people who love to view my video. Now, those videos that I was posting for like 3 months were videos to give you a nice inside look on what it is I do when I go to the gym and work out. Yes, I work out at Planet Fitness, and I know a lot of people talk about, that gym don't want you to reach your goals, but I'll make a future video on what gyms are good, what gyms are bad, and why people bitch and complain about the gym membership package and all this other stuff, things of that nature, in a future video. But today's video is going to be called part 1 of proteins versus steroids. So I'm going to retitle the video Sex Game, Protein versus Steroids. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is because a YouTuber whose real name is Zach Deloney, a friend of mine, I've been friends with him for about 12 years, and he made a very good, compelling argument here on YouTube when he talked about why does athletes take performance enhancement drugs. But I felt that even though he made a great, compelling argument, I felt that some stuff was, I don't want to say it wasn't good and it wasn't bad. I want to say he was trying his hardest, but sometimes when you make videos, it doesn't get received in a positive light. And I want to add my share of what I think, on why do I think athletes take performance enhancement drugs. Now, back in the late 1950s, early 1960s, during the days of the Olympics, there was a lot of drugs that were banned from Olympic sports. Powder protein, all the powder proteins that we see today in the 21st century. Back in those days, if they saw you taking something that was 10 grams or 15 grams of protein, they didn't really complain. But as soon as they saw it said 20 grams or 25 or 30 grams or even 40 grams of protein, you got banned from the Olympics back in those days, because a lot of people complained that when they take these drugs, they would recover a lot faster and a lot quicker than the average person. And proteins that we know today, like Muscle Tech, Celtral Tech, EAEs, just to give you a few brand names, Muscle Milk, I'm sure everybody knows Muscle Milk. All of these powder protein supplements is to help recover, build the muscle. So let's say you do instead of a 1 hour workout, you do a 2 to 3 hour workout, and you're trying to bench press or leg squat or deadlift 200 pounds, 300 pounds, or in some extreme cases, anywhere between 400 to 450 pounds. I mean, you try to bench press, leg squat on the leg press, or deadlift it. Now, the reason why a lot of athletes are taking performance enhancement drugs is to enhance their athletic ability and their physical performance. Whether you may play professional basketball, football, baseball, whether it may be tennis, whether it may be, boxing, mixed martial arts, and I know professional wrestling is fake, but even in the world of professional wrestling / entertainment, you see that even those guys are on some drugs. And everyone wants to make that taking powder proteins and steroids is bad. Now, if you're just trying to take powder protein supplements to help build strong muscles, strong gains, that's okay. Protein is like the old saying, hardcore punk, bigger, stronger, faster. You know, it'll help you get big, it'll help you get strong, and it'll help you get fast. It'll help you recover from your workout. So whether you do a 1 hour workout, 2 hour workout, or a full blown 3 hours in the gym, powder protein is created and made and designed to help amino acids go to the blood flow and help you recover, because there's a lot of damaged muscle tissue in the body, and you need to have an 8 hour sleep to rebuild those muscles. It's like what happens when a car doesn't have water and it doesn't have gas. The car doesn't go very far, right? Well, your body is the same way as a car. It will not go very far without food and water. So they take the proper nourishment, you know, fruits, vegetables, eggs, milk, water, and they component all of that together, and you know, take some sugar and some starches, not too much sugar, not too much starch, but you know, maybe 4 or 5%, and combine that together with some milk and some eggs, and you got protein. You can find protein in hamburger meat, chicken, fish. You can find proteins in milk. You can find protein in beans, burritos, rice. So there's different ways you can take in protein. You don't have to necessarily be obsessed with taking muscle milk or ESAs or Social Tech or Muscle Tech, because there's Social Tech, Nitro Tech, and then there's Muscle Tech. So I'm naming off popular protein brands that you've heard of before. And realistically, 9 times out of 10, the guys who are playing basketball, football, baseball, tennis, guys that are doing hockey, they take these performance enhancement drugs to get bigger, stronger, and faster with the ER. Now, a lot of men suffer from insecurity issues. A lot of men, when they were in high school or in college, they saw the jocks. They saw the basketball players, the football players, the baseball players at their respectable high school and colleges, and they were getting all of the beautiful, attractive women that were cheerleaders or on the dance team. And these guys found it very difficult to compete in a highly competitive environment. So when these guys got into college, they made a decision. Do I want to always be number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, or number 10 in the race? Or could I be number 4, number 3, or number 2 in the race if I take the drugs? So a lot of guys got tired of doing things the correct way, the right way, and decided, why not take some shortcuts? Now, athletes who play in professional basketball, football, and baseball, tennis, hockey, track and field, those guys have a lot of pressure on them to deliver big. When you are playing 12 games in the NFL, you gotta be able to I'm cooking a hamburger, by the way. You gotta be able to compete. You gotta be able to compete at a high competitive level in the NFL. You know, you got anywhere from 12 to like 13 games in NFL season. And then on top of that, you got to win all your games in your NFL conference. And then you got to turn around and go to the playoffs. And let's be honest, you lose one football game in the first round and your season's over. So you got 3 games to get to the Super Bowl. So it's already difficult that you got to play 12 games a season. You got 3 games to get to the Super Bowl. And then if you take a calculator out and you add up the total of games that you play every single football season, that's anywhere between 90 to 120 football games a season. So that means you play for 6 months. And then a year later, that's another 12 games. So in 2 years, you've already played about 30 games of football already. And if you're the average professional football player that's played 10 or 11 or 12 years in the NFL, you've already played over 100 football games. And if you're playing by the time you're 31, 32, 33 years old, you've probably played over 1,000 football games. And you've probably broken your arm, your leg, your hamstring. You would have torn your ACL, a dislocated shoulder. You've probably been knocked out unconscious 3 times. And you probably have been traded to 5 different football teams in 15 years. And somewhere in that time period, while getting surgery and rehab, the idea of maybe taking this drug won't be such a bad idea. I need to win football games. I need to produce. I need to perform at a high level because everyone's expecting me to win a championship before my NFL career is over. And the average professional football player who plays in NFL football, about 90% of them have that pressure to live up to those expectations. You know, friends, family, fans, co-workers, staff, your coach, the owner, the whole world is actually watching you perform at a high competitive level. And as soon as you fall short, flat on your ass, the whole world goes, you're a loser, you failed us, you were supposed to be the best of the best of the best, and we don't want you to represent us no more. And then you get into a cold, deep, dark depression, and you turn to alcohol, you turn to drugs, you turn to talking to strippers and prostitutes. That's what happens when you fail in a championship game. And then when you start messing with drugs, here's where I think some people are hypocritical. It wasn't a problem as long as that football player on that football team won football games and took you to the playoffs and took you to the Super Bowl and you won a Super Bowl, and then you go back to the playoffs next year and you win 2 championships or 3 championships 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row, it's not a problem. Until you go, oh my God, he's dirty. I thought he was clean this whole entire time. And then the football player gets castrated because he cheated to win a championship trophy. Same thing in baseball. All these legendary great baseball players like Barry Bonds, what's that other guy that made a book called Juice? All those guys were struggling in their late 20s, early 30s to compete at a high level. And the last thing they want to hear come out of a fan's mouth or out of the news media is, oh, this guy lost 5 years in a row, 7, 8, 9 years in a row. He keeps losing. And what athlete wants to be criticized because his athletic ability will only let you go so far? See, as a man, your physical prime starts at age 15 and it ends at age 30, 31. And if you're still playing basketball, football, baseball, tennis, hockey, and in some cases golf, then it's going to be very hard to compete because every single year that we have the NBA draft, the NFL draft, and the baseball draft, they're drafting younger guys from the ages of 18 to 25. So if they get a guy that's 18, 19, 20 years old, it's only a matter of time before they take your spot and your old ass goes sit on the bench and you've been replaced. And no superstar athlete that's on the same level of a Michael Jordan, a Kobe Bryant, a LeBron James, or a Tom Brady, or an Aaron Rodgers wants to think of being replaced by an 18 or a 19 or even a 20-year-old who's coming from the draft. Nobody wants the idea of, I can get replaced. So it's either protein or steroids. Now, you start off taking protein so you can get big, strong, and fast. But protein has a limitation. The highest grams of protein can be anywhere from 10 grams to like maybe 50 or 60 grams of protein. The more grams of protein you consume, the easier it is for you to get bigger, stronger, and faster. But then the minute you go to the store and you can't find what you're looking for, a lot of the proteins are made by pharmaceutical companies. And a lot of times you take something and you buy it, and then that argument comes up, well, you buying a bunch of junk that doesn't work. I've seen stuff that doesn't work, that people wasted 50, 60, 70, 80, $90, and it never worked in 6 months, 7, 8, 9 months. They wasted almost $1,000 buying junk. And then I've seen some stuff that is unidentified, that doesn't have a name for it. Not too many stores carry the item, and it works anywhere between 50 to 80% of the time. It works. And then people start asking questions. What is that you're taking? What is that you got right there? Can I find it at the store? Do I have to order it online? And a lot of times you hear a lot of guys go, shh, keep your mouth closed. And then that's when all these allegations come out. Oh, we caught over 100 baseball players on drugs. Or we caught over 200 football players on drugs. Or we caught 50 professional basketball players on drugs. That's when all that stuff comes out in the news media. By the time it comes out in the news media, it's been about 5, maybe 10, might even be 15 years later before the media even finds out, okay, we got these athletes on drugs. What we're going to do to clean up the sport. But they're hypocrites because they profit millions, if not billions. They profit millions of dollars off of athletes taking drugs. It's when you can no longer produce results that, all right, now I got to punish you because the goal was for you to win at least 2 or 3 championships. We won 1 championship in 10 years, and the goal was to win 3 championships in 10 years. We only got 1 championship. And you see, this is why in the world of fitness, you got a lot of bodybuilders, weightlifters, and powerlifters who take drugs to perform at a high competitive level. So when I see these athletes on drugs, I don't go, damn, why you on some drugs? Because they have all these standards they have to live up to. It's like going to a job and your boss telling you, I expect you to be here 5 days a week, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, and then you get sick. Now your boss is mad because you got sick. You tell your boss, well, I got sick. And your boss go, you still could have came to work. Or you get hit by a bus or you get hit by a car, and your boss go, you still could have brought your ass to work. I mean, that's what your boss want to say, to your face, but can't because you sick. And a lot of these athletes have pressure on them. And when you live in America and you're trying to become the best of the best of the best, you can expect this to actually happen. So this is only part 1 of the video. I don't want to make this too long. And maybe next week I'll probably make a part 2 on why do bodybuilders, weightlifters, and powerlifters and athletes think that if they take drugs, how did this help them attract the attention of the opposite sex? See, part 1, I'm just giving you some history. Part 2 is where I go more into depth in the math and the science of sex game, protein versus steroids. Part 2, I'm going to talk about how guys use certain drugs to get the attention of sexy, beautiful, attractive women that are 8s, 9s, and 10s. Until then, peace.